everyone. My name is Deepa Javeri. I'm one of the other co-founders of Women Who Win. I'm a physician at Boston Medical and Beth Israel Lahey Hospitals. I'm also a mother to two beautiful girls. There's no freebies in Women Who Win, so they are working the front desk. No kickbacks. We are so thankful for all of you for being here on this Sunday afternoon. And after countless hours of work, I hope that this event turns out to be amazing. It is my pleasure to kick off our first panel called From Page to Stage, Real Women, Real Stories, with an amazing lineup of women, each of whose story you can find either on our website at womenwhowin100.com or in the book that's available outside. And it is my pleasure to introduce my friend, which Facebook told us today is 13 years, friend of 13 years, Jharna Madan. And I'd also like to invite the panelists at this time, Devika, Kathleen. We have an amazing lineup of 4 women who are on their way up. I'm going to take a second to introduce Jharna, although she may not need much introduction here. She's not only an author in our Women Who Win book, but she's also an interior designer, a project manager, and a TV Asia correspondent in Boston. She's also a passionate event planner and involved in several community organizations, such as ACL and Hindi Manch, to name a few. And at this time, I'll hand it over to Jharna to introduce her wonderful panelists. Thank you, Jharna.
Thank you, Deepa, and happy 13 years. We're teenagers now. Our friendship is. Good afternoon, everybody. It's my honor to be here. I'd like to welcome my extraordinary panel. Today, we're here to gather to celebrate their achievements, resilience, and inspiring journeys of these amazing women. Each of these trailblazers has carved a unique path in their respective fields, overcoming challenges and making significant contributions to their communities and beyond. First, we have Devika Dhawan, a passionate dancer and business professional who founded DFD Academy. Devika has seamlessly blended her artistic talents and business acumen to create a thriving dance school that empowers the next generation of dancers to embrace their identities through the art of fusion dance. Her dedication to fostering confidence and creativity in her students is truly inspiring. Welcome, Devika. Next, we have Sapna Shetty, whose life took an unexpected turn when she lost her husband and found herself at the helm of his successful software company. With determination and support of her family and community, Sapna navigated the unfamiliar terrain of the tech industry while being a devoted single mother. Her journey of resilience and leadership is a testament to the power of perseverance faced in adversity. Joining us next is Kathleen Walsh, the President and CEO of YMCA of Metro North. With a career dedicated to community service, Kathleen has led her organization with vision, compassion, particularly through the challenges of the pandemic. Her commitment to health and wellness equity, along with her expertise in team building, has made a profound impact on the communities she serves. Last but not the least, we have Samia Chandrakar, a Harvard-educated immigrant attorney and founder of Samia Law and a budding author. Samia's dedication to advocating for immigrants and healthcare workers has been unwavering, even as she faced her own personal challenge of developing a severe sensitivity to artificial light. Her ability to adapt and continue her important work is a powerful example of resilience and innovation. Together, these women embody the spirit of determination, creativity, and leadership. They each have turned their dreams into reality, inspiring countless others along the way. You've read their stories, and today we have the unique opportunity to learn from their experience and gain insight into how they've navigated their remarkable journey. So please join me in welcoming our distinguished panelists, Devika Dhawan, Sapna Shetty, Kathleen Walsh, and Samia Chandrakar. So ladies, truly honored to be here on the stage with you guys and having this panel. So each of you have had your own unique journeys, and with each journey comes roadblocks, challenges. So let me start by asking, was there a specific incident where you felt that, oh my God, I can't go on anymore? The challenge that made you stop and think, but what gave you the strength to persevere and carry on this journey? I'd like to start with you, Sapna.
Thank you for the question, Jharna. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming and supporting this event. Thank you, Women Who Win panel, for creating this amazing platform. I'm so honored to be part of this panel discussion with such inspiring ladies. After the traumatic experience of losing my husband, being a single mom to 2 young kids and managing my husband's software business was very challenging and very overwhelming. I had no prior professional training nor any experience in this field. I had to attend meetings, manage my employees and their payroll. I took a tough decision to move forward, change my mindset, and improve my skills. And then with hard work, determination, support from my employees, emotional help from my friends and family, I successfully managed the business. And my kids are grown and thriving in their own career path. So whatever challenges we face, we have to take control of our lives and we can find happiness again. Thank you.
Thank you, Sapna. I know that wasn't easy, but thank you for putting yourself out here. Samia, what are your thoughts? What made you continue? What gave you strength?
There was that moment in late 2017 when I developed this vision disability. I developed severe sensitivity to fluorescent light and artificial light, and I could not tolerate viewing screens. And by late 2017, there was a moment where I did crawl under my quilt, and I just wanted the whole world to go away. I was struggling with the new Trump administration, the travel bans, the Muslim bans, the anxious clients, and I'd been to medical professionals and no one knew what I had. It was so rare and unusual. It didn't have a name. And then I think the thing to do when you're overwhelmed and you're in that situation, I think the key is to plan. Planning is key. And once you have a plan, one step at a time. Take one step. So I managed to crawl out from under my physical and metaphorical quilt, and I decided that I would find a different way to deal with this. Instead of trying to find medical treatment, I would adapt. And I started with using assistive technology for the blind and changing my life. And I've probably taken about hundreds of steps since then, and today, everything that I do and the way I work my life is so organic. You wouldn't even know that I have this invisible disability when you meet me. The key is, one step at a time. Don't let everything suffocate you.
That's brilliant. One step at a time. Of course, all of you are amazing leaders in your own right way, and you've led organizations. And one of the buzzwords that we keep hearing today is empowerment. And I read something really funny, like people are dropping the word empowerment as if they're putting a garnish on a dish, so, which is very true because you do hear empowerment. But what I want to really know is how do you as leaders truly empower somebody, empower your employees? What are the strategies you use to inspire and lead your teams? So, Kathleen, I'm going to start with you.
Thank you. Empowerment is incredibly important to me because I've worked my way up at the Y and I understand a lot of the different positions. So what I say to my team, we have about 850 employees plus or minus, and we're open 900 hours a week collectively with all our branches. Our members expect answers and information immediately. So my management style is, and I say it all the time, I live in the world of gray. There is no black, there is no white, gray. Every single employee is empowered to make the decision that they believe is right at that time. 9 times out of 10, it may be something different than I would do, but I support what they do, and then we figure out where we go from there. Members, like I said, they want answers, they need responses immediately. We don't want to get bogged down in layers. We don't want to get bogged down in voicemail or someone else is in charge. So as part of the onboarding, as whether you're part-time or full-time, you are given that authority to make the decision that you need to make to support the team and simultaneously support the staff. It's very important to me as a leader.
That is brilliant. Devika, what about you?
I was actually going off of that, going to say something very similar, that I manage a group of instructors, for example, in our dance academy. And so for me, it's very important that whoever I'm leading, I'm just a guide and a motivator, not so much a boss telling you what to do. For our instructors, it's very important that they know that they have the autonomy to make decisions, contribute ideas, because then only they're going to be invested in the overall cause. And when it comes to our students, we empower them by pushing them out of their comfort zone. So when we push them out of their comfort zone and then they achieve what they thought that they never could, that is probably the most empowering thing for them to be able to see at such a young age.
Samia, your thoughts on that?
So I think in the context of community contributions, I think I'll go there. I did chair and found the annual Diwali festival in my hometown several years ago. And I think probably similar to what Kathy was saying, I think the key to empowering other people in that situation or empowering my team is inclusivity. So include people, hear their voices, and give recognition and approval when it's due. And the way to do that, I think, is a lot of communication and open communication. And so my style of leadership was very inclusive. So I liked frequent meetings. I liked communication. I liked giving recognition. I liked, at the end of the festival, I would list every single volunteer's name and publish it in the literature, the website, in articles, give the recognition, include and recognize.
That's amazing. Sapna, I definitely want to ask you here, because you went into a completely unknown industry where you were trying to find that power within you. Who made you feel empowered when you were in that journey?
Mainly my kids. They were my motivation, because being a single mom, I had to be there for them. So I needed to make sure they are okay, and that's why I had to get up and rise to the occasion.
Yeah, and I think that's so amazing, because I think empowerment actually starts within the family, because each of us empower each other to run that family unit. So very well said. Thank you so much. Samia brought up community, so let's talk about community. Obviously, each of your work has had a very deep impact on the community that we're here. So can you share a specific incident or a story where your work actually inspired or changed somebody's life? Devika, I'm going to start with you.
Sure. I work a lot with kids, and one of the biggest things that we say is age is just a number. We say that to all of the students, and I think this really, we were able to prove it to them, and they were able to prove it to themselves when we competed 2 years ago at a competition called South Asian Showdown, which is actually a competition for collegiate students. But our team was made up of middle schoolers and some high schoolers. So they were a lot younger. It was unprecedented. And I remember after we performed and we were on stage for awards, the crowd started chanting DFD, which in itself was giving us goosebumps. But one of the girls in our team turned to me and said, should we tell them to stop? Because what if we didn't win? And at that point, in my heart, I knew we did because of what was happening. But as soon as they announced that we won, all of the kids turned, looked at me, started crying. And that moment, they had proved to themselves that they could do way more than they had ever thought that they could do. And I always say that my peers, when I graduated, my MBA program wanted to work on things like the next generation of technology. Well, I wanted to work with the next generation of people.
That is so brilliant.
Yeah.
And I'm witness to that performance. Oh my God, that was mind-blowing. Everybody in that audience who had seen that performance knew that DFD was going to win. So Kathleen, you also work with, obviously, YMCA, a lot of people, a lot of children. So any incident that comes to mind?
One of the things that was really important to me when I became CEO is equity. I have branches that range from Lynn all the way to the more affluent Melrose, Peabody, Saugus, Stoneham, and everywhere in between. So for me, when I would visit the sites, it was clear that our programs and services were not equitable. And part of that was, we very liberally give out financial aid. This past year, we gave out just under $2 million. But in order to get financial aid, you would have to submit your taxes, your pay stubs, your rent, this, that, the other thing. So last May, again, as part of our quest to be an equitable organization, we went to a self-reporting need for financial aid. So anybody, anytime can go online and pick a discount up to 45% without any validation. We're doing it because it's the right thing to do. And for me, what I have seen is our members in Lynn in particular have taken advantage of this because they can. And so it's something that we're very proud of, and we're going to continue to do forever.
Samia, any thoughts on that? How your work inspired somebody else?
So actually, I'm going to jump back to the community.
Okay, sure, absolutely. It's all about the community
my
here.
My work does, it's all about changing people's lives because I work in immigration. But there is a moment that I'd love to talk about, again, in the context of the Diwali festival, where it was last year, and this festival has been taking place for several years. And when we founded it, it was set in a town that is not diverse. So 2% diversity at the time. And it was a real challenge. It was pushing people in the town out of their comfort zone, very stressful. First few years, and I stepped back from chairing. I still help out, but last year I was at the festival and there was a moment that made me cry. There was 3 senior kids who were giving speeches, and I wasn't really paying attention, and I missed the first one altogether, but then something caught my ear with the second one. She started talking about how she went to the first festival and it was a momentous event for her. It was the first time in her life that she had participated in her culture. And then I started listening to the second speaker, and I brought what she said, actually, which I thought was so powerful. I'm just going to read it quickly here. The third speaker was Divya, and she said, "When I was younger, I struggled a lot with my identity. I was afraid to show this part of myself to the world. I thought nobody would understand me or my culture, and was worried that they would turn away from me because of this." And then she talked about the festival, and she went on to say, "I felt that my world turned upside down and my true self was finally able to open up. I was finally able to make friends with people that shared my cultural beliefs and traditions, and became unafraid to share this part of my identity with others that I held dear. So when pondering the question of what the Westwood Diwali Festival means to me, I would describe it in one word: freedom. The freedom to be myself." And I started crying because I realized that this festival was just so much more important and had such a profound impact on these young men and women that were going to now leave the community and go out into the world to make their own contributions.
That's awesome. No, I think I'd like to truly thank each of you that your work has clearly had such a deep and lasting effect on the community and kind of a lot of people here. So let's move on and talk about, as women, we multitask. We kind of put ourselves second. The work comes first, the family comes first. But of course, so how do you guys balance your profession along with your passions, and how do they influence each other? And I'm going to add one more thing is, I'd like to know what you do that truly gives you joy, not what your family, because somebody will ask me, what makes you happy? I'll say, okay, making my child happy makes me happy. No, but what truly gives you joy? So Kathleen, I'm going to start with you.
This is so easy. I love to run. I've had a fair amount of success getting my team to run so we can have meetings on our feet. I say it often, the why is a way of life, right? And if we're going to bring people to our organization and say we're going to make you healthier, we're going to help you be a healthier person, improve some of your baseline metrics, I have to walk the talk, right? So anytime I can get out for a run, fast, slow, medium, I don't care. So yeah, this morning, someone said, what are you doing today? I said, I got my run in, and then I'm going to Women That Win. So yeah, I like to just get out there and walk the talk.
And you've obviously integrated that in your meetings, and tell us
It's
more on that.
almost embarrassing how many Zoom calls I've taken while I've been running. Yeah. I come right up front and say, just so you know, I'm on the trails.
Devika. And you can't say dance.
Yeah, I know. I think you were talking about balancing personal and professional. So now that dance is professional for me. I think the tough part of balancing was more so just my time, spending it outside of work, because work is kind of part of my life. There's not a lot of difference in it. And I've really had to learn to be comfortable with taking a step back and letting other people do things, like my business partner, Bari, or the instructors. I had to tell myself it's okay if I'm not at every single event, because I need to make sure I have a life. But for the longest time, I loved my work so much, I wanted it to be my life. And only recently have I learned to kind of balance the two by leaning on my peers and my support system.
And what do you do outside of dance that gives you true happiness?
I really have started getting into fitness more. It helps with dance too. And yeah, dance is still a recreational part of my life. I choreograph a lot for our students and our shows and things like that. But like I said, I get support from my co-instructors to help me choreograph so I can choreograph for myself, because that's different than someone putting a gun to your head and saying, we need choreo like next week, versus me just driving around and getting inspired by something and then thinking, oh, I want to create this. So creating is a big aspect of my life, whether that's with dance or fashion or art. I like all of it. Anything aesthetic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Samia, what about you? How do you balance, and what's the one passion?
Balancing work and this other spheres is definitely a challenge. And in that situation, especially if you're a working mom, but I think the key there is time management. And I think working moms are good at that, but it's good to acknowledge that that's what you're doing. And with time management, I think it's definitely important to take it out of your head, put it on an app or scribble on a piece of paper or a planner. So that is key, and that kept me going. I did start writing several years ago, and the writing and the work have now converged, and so I think I'm probably starting a new chapter of my professional career going into writing. And in terms of something that I like to do, so last year I did start ballroom dancing lessons. That is completely out of my comfort zone. I grew up in a Muslim household. I did no dancing all my life, and I will be performing at the end of this summer. I think we have a bit of a dancing theme in this panel, right? I think Sapna has taken dancing lessons as well.
I love to travel, and the joy of traveling is to connect with my kids and friends. We explore places, enjoy getting new experience and relaxing together. I love dancing too. I have taken various dance classes, and I do a lot of performances too, stage performance, and that's very passionate for me.
That is awesome, yes. And Devika has been our teacher, so I think she gave up on the adults then. All right, I know we're coming to an end, but before I let you guys go, it's very cliched to say, okay, what is your advice to the future leaders or the people who are following you and all? But what I want to know is, can you share one learning with us that has guided you through life, or that you think is important for you, or that's a constant reminder? Like, For me, it's patience, because literally when I exit my house, it's a two-way street and there's traffic coming both ways and I have to turn left, of course. I have to always tell myself, there will be a time where there will be no traffic and you'll be able to make the turn. So for me, that thing has been always be patient. You will get your turn. So I'm going to start with you, Devika.
It would be believe in yourself or no one else will. And I say that because when I started my dance company, I was only 23. So honestly, people didn't really take me very seriously because I was so young. But I presented myself and my ideas very confidently because I truly believed what we were doing was important and I knew what I was doing. So you have to have faith in yourself, and if you don't, you can't expect anybody else to either.
Samia?
So I think what I've learned is that you have to make your own path. And you can choose your career. And I think people forget, they're in a job they don't like. People forget that that's a choice. You can change it. You can change your path. If you don't like your job or you want to do something else, change it. You can make that choice. You have the power to make changes. And remember that. You have to consciously remember that you have a choice.
Yes, you do. We all do have a choice. Sapna?
Live life to the fullest, because life is short and every day counts. That's what I believe.
Yes, true. Kathleen?
I think my advice would be to say yes.
Yes.
So many people put themselves in a box. Don't do that. Say yes to every opportunity, every invitation. Thank you for inviting me here. And whatever you do, don't ever respond with that's someone else's job, right? Say yes.
So basically, when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, people dance.
Yes.
Ladies, thank you so much. It's been such an honor to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jharna. That was an amazing panel, and I know I definitely had some take-homes from each of them. I think saying yes was probably the biggest one. Moving on, our next panel is something that we could all use, probably all of us need, and perhaps many of us as women especially don't pay much attention to it. It's the panel discussion on mental health and well-being. The moderator of this panel is Dr. Shalini, and I hope I don't massacre your last name, but Mansharamani. She's a leading psychiatrist who sees patients at Kripa Behavioral Health in Fall River, Massachusetts. And I'll let Dr. Shalini introduce her panelists. Thank you.